So, welcome, guys. Welcome to franchise damage control a la Star Trek and Star Wars. Of course, Star Wars came first, and I'm talking about Star Wars Rise of Skywalker and then Star Trek Picard Season 3. All right, Jean-Luc Picard, mon capitaine. I love how Q refers to his buddy, Jean-Luc. So, I was thinking, as I very often do, eat my bagel in the morning and just hanging out, looking at the news headlines and the sort of sci-fi and sort of, fan and geek stuff. And I was like, well, you know what? It just hit me. After all these many years, Rise of Skywalker was released in 2019. 6 years ago. It's incredible, right? So I was thinking, well, and then what is it? Picard was 2023, I guess, right? Yeah, thereabouts. So 2 years ago. As a Picard came later. The point is that both these franchises, Star Wars and Star Trek, if you look at the third act of each, one was, the trilogy, the third act of a movie trilogy, and one was the third act of a TV show. Both of them decided to do damage control. Star Wars did it first, and you have to wonder, maybe Picard, the staffers, Paramount Plus team was like, let's take a cue from Rise of Skywalker. Now, as we know, Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, these two just didn't perform. Well, Force Awakens certainly performed better. That's why there was a sequel. It was continued on. And even though I don't love any of the movies, any of the Disney sequels, the Disney Wars, at least Force Awakens introduced, Finn, these new characters, and sort of there was a blueprint of where to kind of go in an interesting way. And then each successive film, as we know, we don't have to really rehash. I think the biggest sort of transgression, the biggest bomb, of course, probably is Last Jedi, rather. Last Jedi and then Rise of Skywalker took that bomb and tried to do retconning damage control. Abrams stepped in and said, Rian Johnson, you fucked up, or your vision certainly wasn't what the fans wanted. Let's do some damage control. Bring back all the favorites. It's Star Wars again. Sound familiar? Star Trek Picard viewers? You have Star Trek Picard for 2 seasons, which, it is what it is. I mean, Patrick Stewart, if I recall, signed up for 3 seasons. He said, I only want to do three seasons. So the first 2, they tried to map out a new destiny for Jean-Luc Picard, a new way of seeking new life and new civilizations, and it bombed by any measure. Season 3 comes along, and yeah, we got the gangs all back, and we've got this damage control, right? We have the feeling of Next Generation again. TNG in all its glory. We even brought back the Enterprise D. Somehow. Got them out of mothballs, so to speak, right? So there you go. I mean, you could say, well, both of these installments, Rise of Skywalker and Season 3 of Picard, did its duty, its due diligence. It, did damage control. It stopped the bleeding, so to speak. Each concluding too, because they were each, like the final chapter, the end of sort of the trilogy. So what do you think? I think that even though I didn't like any of Picard, I'm on record, I just don't like all of Picard, including Season 3. In fact, I almost resent against Season 3 more, like Rise of Skywalker, because you're doing damage control. The only thing you're doing is trying to kind of throw bones to the fans. All the fans have now turned into dogs, and here's your bone, or here's your Easter eggs. Pile on the nostalgia in the Easter eggs, At least with Picard Season 1 and 2, it tried to map out something new. It might have been really bad. And with, Disney Wars, the sequels, they tried 1 and 2 and just didn't work. Go back to the basics. Go back to nostalgia. Damage control. So what do you think? Give us your feedback. Give us your thoughts. Live long and prosper. The Force is with you, right? Hope you're enjoying. Hope you're subscribing. See you soon.